country!
A brand new James Bond video game just came out. And it doesn't look like a bad game, but it also doesn't look like James Bond anything. Don't get me wrong, I'll definitely be buying it, just not anytime soon and not for $102 Canadian. I've kept away from reading reviews because I like to form my own opinions, but I have seen the headlines. And it's either the worst game ever or the best game ever. But that's not exclusive to this game though, because all games are overpriced and overhyped now, and I'm just too old and tired to keep up.
Some things never change.
Hey everybody, an old man's talking.
But besides the price and all the usual video game bullshit going on, this game symbolizes kind of a larger disappointment I have with the way things are going for poor old Jimmy. Because initially I was excited when I heard about Project 007, a new Bond game made by a company that has experience making games about agents with guns, working closely with Eon Productions. Sounds juicy. There was a solid 4 years where I couldn't wait for a new Bond game to be made by the Hitman dudes. I mean, I was still cautiously optimistic that it wouldn't be broken into online chapters or DLC or all that other shit that Hitman does. And I also wasn't too excited on it being an origin story, but that one's just personal taste. I didn't like Daniel Craig as Bond either, sue me. But just like with Craig's Bond, I kept an open mind.
Hi everyone.
That open mind got slammed the fuck closed when Amazon bought the rights to James Bond. Bond movie veterans and owners of the license Barbara Broccoli and her brother Michael G. Wilson met with real-life Bond movie villain corporation Amazon to talk about making James Bond movies. The irony. I won't go through everything, but basically in the meeting, Basil's bitches went full Marvel at him, pitching spin-offs, TV shows, cartoons.
Spaceballs the coloring book. Spaceballs the lunchbox. Spaceballs the breakfast cereal.
One of the stooges called the film's content, which rightfully pissed off Ms. Broccoli. And another one said they didn't think James Bond was a hero, which is what you say about a person's work when you're trying to buy a license from them. So that final straw made Mama Babs promptly say fuck this and leave. She's even quoted as calling them fucking idiots. She's not wrong. Listen, I may sound bitter, but that's because I am. I've always loved James Bond movies, even the shit ones. The rocket launcher blowing up the truck and License to Kill lives rent-free in my head. It's nostalgia for sure. I grew up watching them with my dad on Sundays, so I'm definitely aware that there's a biased brain chemical thingy going on.
Yes, science!
But beyond that, they're just these exciting and fun spy stories translated expertly into film by carefully selected teams of craftsmen who understood the story and the character. What a concept. Even the producers' kids had to earn their way up. Barbara Broccoli was doing basic jobs for the studio at age 17 and didn't touch anything film related until she was 23. Now some online bookstore is going to stick their nasty ass fingers into making movies for something that has a 60-year legacy, and they don't know or care about any of it. And sadly that extends to the video games. That isn't a knock against IOI. I still play my Hitman 2 on GameCube and I still love it. I'm not saying the game will be soulless and a piece of shit like someone I know of.
Hi everyone.
But judging from the commercials, this has no resemblance to James Bond in any way, shape, or form. It's not based on anything by Fleming. It's written by the guy who wrote the not confusing or boring at all Hitman stories.
The ball's in your court, Miss Burnwood. I do have other candidates, you know. Most of whom have never tied me to a chair.
Come again?
Eon is out of the picture. MGM is dead. Nothing here is done by anyone who knows anything about James Bond. I haven't played the game yet, or watched any footage outside of the commercials, so it's probably a great game. But be honest, if they called it Action Spyman and didn't use any names, would you still think it's James Bond? I fully believe this started out as something that could have been great and authentic like Everything or Nothing. But we're just going to get another 007 Legends. People who don't understand James Bond cashing in on the name, copy and pasting mechanics from other popular games and mashing them all together. I may sound like I'm down on this game, but I'm really not. It looks like an action-packed fun game with lots of fighting and John Wick gun tricks. I'll form my own opinions when I eventually play it, just not for $102, and you won't convince me that this or anything in the future is James Bond. He died the day Blofeld took over. That's all I wanted to say. Well, that, and